What strategic projects in the region of the 3C initiatives you can identify?
Well, I think I'm extremely excited by Via Carpathia, the north-south highway that they're building. That's incredibly important because, you know, it takes 2 to 4 times to go north, a set distance north to south in the 3Cs region as it does to Western Europe. So that will be a game changer. I'm tracking very closely the effort to build a kind of a digital express or digital highway that will link the entire region with a high-speed, highly modern fiber optic network. This is a real demand in an age when we're moving into 5G and the Internet of Things. That network will not only facilitate greater engagement within the region, but can be tied into international networks that go into Western Europe, that reach out to the Middle East and Asia and North America. That will be an exciting game changer. So those are 2 examples of projects that I find particularly interesting.
Yeah, okay, thank you. The Atlantic Council's Europe organized on March 25 a strategic session on completing Europe, the 3Cs initiative, convened by General James Jones and Ambassador Georgette Mosbacher, chairman and co-chair of the Atlantic Council's 3Cs programming. The opening remarks were made by Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur, who restated the US commitment to investing of $1 billion in Europe's energy security through the 3Cs initiative, and the decision of the US Development Finance Corporation to invest $300 million in 2021 into the 3Cs initiative investment fund. Obviously, the energy security will be crucial for the countries in the 3Cs initiative in the aim of reducing from the dependence of Russian hydrocarbons. What is the vision in the USA about the developing of the alternative sources of energy, and what projects in our region could benefit of US support?
Well, I'll say this, you know, we had very robust support for the 3Cs from the Trump administration and from the House of Representatives in Congress. With the Biden transition, I've really been happy to see that the new team in town in Washington is coming in with robust support for 3Cs. Secretary Blinken, within the first few weeks of his tenure in office, gave a powerful statement to 3Cs foreign ministers in which he embraced the 3Cs initiative. He endorsed its objectives, and he really praised the core institution of the 3Cs, the 3Cs fund. He highlighted it as a new model and interesting public-private partnership, and he encouraged countries and entities to invest in the 3Cs fund as a way to drive infrastructure development in the region. That's a powerful, powerful endorsement. So I'm confident that the $1 billion pledge from the United States to invest in up to $1 billion in 3Cs energy projects is very valid. And I'm confident that the new administration is going to deliver on the US government's commitment to invest $300 million into the 3Cs fund.
Thank you.
I should add, you know, Representative Kaptur continues her leadership on Capitol Hill. She introduced with Congressman Kinzinger, a Republican,
yes. Yeah.
A bill called the Transatlantic Telecommunications Security Act.
Yes, that was my next question. Yes, thank you very much.
Very important because if passed into law, and I think there's good prospect that it will, because it has very robust bipartisan co-sponsorship. This will unleash the U.S. government's ability to do the same thing it is doing with energy in Central and Eastern Europe, but in the telecom market, in the digital space. And that's incredibly important. And I think it reflects U.S. commitment and interest in the 3Cs initiative.
Yes, thank you very much. And, last year, Congressman Adam Kinzinger introduced to the House of Representatives Resolution 672 to support the 3Cs initiative and investment fund. But the Transatlantic Telecommunications Security Act, also that you said. Meanwhile, many congressmen and high-level officials expressed confidence that the 3Cs initiative would have a significant, constructive, and lasting impact on infrastructure security and digital sovereignty in transatlantic alliance. Additionally, China has used opaque debt traps in Montenegro case, for example, environmental misbehavior, heavy industry in Serbia, and controversial investments through its Belt and Road Initiative to undermine Europe's transatlantic cybersecurity. Thankfully, there is a high-tech solutions coming from the transatlantic area. Do you believe the reasonable answer on the telecommunication threat from China is modernization of European telecommunications network and 3Cs region in particular, using the Clean Network and the Clean EU 5G toolbox? And what level of importance is that for the Euro-Atlantic security?
Well, I don't think that Central and Eastern Europe is any more vulnerable than Western Europe when it comes down to the need to clean out 5G or telecom technologies from Huawei. This is a problem that besets both sides of Europe, so to speak. And I think what the Central Europeans are taking, the bull by the horns and are addressing this. They have almost all of them have signed MOUs with the United States, 5G or secure 5G MOUs, which emphasize the needs to use technologies that are reliable and that don't provide an intelligence threat to its citizens, to its governments. As for the 3Cs initiative, I think 5G, secure 5G, ought to be one of the priorities for 3Cs. And I can imagine there would be a number of projects that one could imagine for cross-border 5G networks that are secure. So I would personally like to see 5G put high on the agenda in the 3Cs digital dimension. So 3Cs will continue to give that priority, and you can see it's an important priority in the U.S. bilateral relationship. The fact that we've signed, a dozen or so of these MOUs in the region in Central and Eastern Europe, and the fact that legislation like the Transatlantic Telecommunications Security Act is gaining momentum on Capitol Hill on both sides of the aisle reflects U.S. interest in this issue as an important element of a robust relationship between the United States and Central and Eastern Europe.